So what is your best advice for people that are trying to figure out how to start?
You know, I get asked this question a lot, and I'm going to give you the simplest answer, and I'm going to give you a little more details because some people sometimes find the simplest answer isn't enough. To begin, you just have to begin. It's like when you're standing in front of a cold swimming pool. There's no strategy on jumping in the water. You just jump in. There is no strategy in all of this stuff. Far too often, we want to strategize and categorize and analyze. Like, how do I best do this? I am telling you, you learn by doing it. By writing those first initial blogs, I learned how to write blogs. By just writing off the top of my head, I started seeing themes that came out. Started seeing, okay, sometimes I share a story, sometimes I'm sharing a quote. Here's different examples. You start to see, as humans, we naturally see patterns. It's part of how our brain has been able to create structures and why we've been able to create civilization. Humans see patterns. As you do your own work, you'll see patterns and you create these models. Don't take another course. I'm telling, as a trainer, don't take another online course. Don't read another book, and don't go watch someone else do it. Start doing it. And it's going to be shit. And it's not going to be great. But it's the process of doing it. And here's one of the greatest stories that I like to share about this. So David Bale shares this story in the book Art and Fear. And he talks about a ceramics teacher who wants to show his students why quality is better than quantity. And he wants to show that dichotomy. And so he gets his students, it's this high school student class, and they're doing ceramics, and he splits the class in half. And he tells one half of the class, he said, you guys, your goal is to create the best pot ever. So this is the quality group, right? Doesn't tell them that. But your goal is to create the best. Your marks, you're going to be marked on the quality of your pot, how good it is. He goes to the second group, and he says, you guys are going to be marked on the amount of pots you create. Not how good they are, but the amount. You want to create as many as possible. And he gave them about 45 minutes to an hour to do their thing. And then he got them to all line up their pots. And to his own surprise, he saw that the pots on the quantity side were better than the ones on the quality. And he was confused. He was like, what? And so he asked one of his students, he says, what happened? And one of his students says, well, sir, the first 3 pots I made were shit. But the 4th one and 5th one were pretty good. And he's going to touch the quality ones. He said, what happened with you guys? He said, well, I'm still trying to fix the first one. See, this is what happens to us. We get stuck on making the perfect blog post and the perfect Instagram post or the perfect first video, the perfect first podcast. And we want to strategize, figure out how, we want to know how we're going to get to 1 million subscribers on the first day that we start. It's just not how it works. You have to create, and through the process of creation, you get better. Your first pot, your second pot, your first blog post, your second blog post, your third blog. Just begin. If you want to do it, start doing it and start sharing it. Sharing it creates commitment. Like, there are days I don't want to blog. And I'm like, wait, but like, I made a commitment to blog every day, and I feel like there's audience, people. Like, I have friends who read the blog post every day. I missed a single day. I missed one day. I did. And I got a message. Hey, I didn't get your blog post this morning. What do you want? You don't think anyone's watching. You genuinely don't think anyone's watching or anyone's actually following. And maybe there aren't millions of people following. And I even say there's not even thousands of people following. Like on my mailing list, because it's a daily blog, I've had a lot of people unsubscribe because that's a daily email that they're getting. Some people are like, I don't want these emails. But if they committed to reading it, I'm committed to delivering it. I only want people who want a daily message on leadership, because leadership is not something that happens. It's not a one act. It's not something that happens once a year. It's not something that happens once a month. Leadership is an everyday act. And unless you can read about it every day, you're not going to develop that skill set. So that's what I want on my list. But my list is under 100 people. It's not a huge list, but it's dedicated readers. It's people who engage with the content. And that's what I want on my list. Now, my social media, my Instagram has way more. My Facebook has way more. Like, that stuff builds because more people can see it and interact with it on their own. But just begin. Just start.